Welcome to the 2014 opening day for George P. Gibbs Little League and Sterling Girls Softball Association. Everybody please rise. I'm going to have the national anthem sung by Casey Nealand and Anya Sabin.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave?
Thank you, girls. And here comes Jake the Lion from the Worcester Bravehearts. Led the parade today, and there he is. Thanks for coming down, Jake. I'm also glad to welcome today District 4 Little League Administrator Linda McGill for a few words.
Thank you, Bill. And before I start, I want to say thank you to Bill, to the Board of Directors, and to all the coaches. This is a fine spectacle. Look at all these kids. And kids, you need to remember, thank those coaches. They're putting in a lot of time. You know, I like this mascot. Not you, Jake. Look at the Owls. They got their own mascot. That is awesome. I also want to thank the parents, because if it wasn't for you taking time out of your schedule to make sure that these kids get down here to play, get down here to practice, all these kids wouldn't be here and they wouldn't be having a great time. So I want to thank the parents as well. And I only have one, well, maybe two things to say to the players. No, not that. Not yet. When you're out there, just remember the last line of the Little League pledge. Win or lose, I will always do my best. And you want to make sure that when you leave the game, you can say to everybody, I did my best. I don't care if you strike out every single time. You pick up that glove and you get out on that field and you hold your head high and you say, I'm going to make the next play on the field. And you know, the one thing I wanted to say too, I was thinking about this last night, I have to tell all of you. You know who my favorite players are on every team? Oh, the Red Sox are okay. But my favorite players on every team are the outfielders. You have the most important job, and I bet you don't even realize it. Next time you get out on that field, turn around and look and see who is behind you. It's a fence. And guess what? That fence doesn't have a glove. So if you miss the ball, you've got to run all the way out there and get it. But you know what? Those guys in front of you, those infielders that you're always jealous of because they always have the ball, they don't realize that you're their backup. You're the ones that are most important. Because if they miss the ball, it's like, oops, I missed it. And then they kind of just move off. And here you are running out there, getting the ball and getting it into the cutoff. So remember, when your coach yells cutoff, get that ball and throw it in. Don't look at the runners because you know what they're doing? They're running. So you want to make that play. And I think that's just about it. So all I can say is everybody have a great season, and hopefully I'll get out here to see some of your games. But remember, win or lose, you're going to always do your best. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, before we get to the teams, I wanted to thank some other people. Running this league takes a lot of work. We have a great board of directors. We also have a lot of people who I go to personally every year and ask for help. And I wanted to recognize some of them, be it contributing prizes for our fundraisers or sponsoring teams or doing field work or whatever the case may be. These are the people that have helped me out over the last 4 years that I've been president, and I wanted to thank them. Tim and Cheryl Roy from Donjo Manufacturing always step up to the plate when they're asked. Teresa Lando and the Lando family from TC Lando's, always big supporters of the league. Thank you, Teresa and the Landos. Josh and Aaron Bailey from S&S Marketplace. We went over to. You can get their fresh burgers and dogs today here and all season here in our snack shack. I'm sure I'm missing some people, but I got one more. George Perry. I don't even know if George is here today. Does a lot of printing for the league over the years, and always steps up when I ask him to. Thanks to it. I also have some gentlemen on the board that went above and beyond this year. Chris Gage. I don't know where Chris is. Chris single-handedly installed our new minor league scoreboard that you'll see out there in the AAA field. Manual scoreboard that we can keep score for the parents at the field. That's brand new this year, and Chris did a great job with it. And I have John Dwyer. I don't even know if John's here today. He's our treasurer. He's been with us for 16 years on the board of directors, and he's been a huge help. I think this is his last year, so I wanted to thank him as well. I also wanted to mention all my board of directors. Mike Akerson, Vice President, who helps with the opening day activities, organizes a lot of this for us, does a great job. John Dwyer, Treasurer. Erica Brennan, Secretary. Erica's helping out on the Bounce the Ball fundraiser. Dave McHugh, our player agent. Rob Bailey, Information Director with Rob. Another guy who steps up all the time, every time he's asked. Thanks, Rob. Heidi Grady, fundraising coordinator. She's out back at the Bounce the Ball fundraiser. You guys can hold your applause. We can all do it at the end so we can go quicker here. Brian Toohey, our master scheduler. Randy Olds, umpire-in-chief. Dave Roush, training coordinator. Dave Walsh, field maintenance director. Mike DeVerde, field maintenance director. I don't know if you noticed, but we have a brand new infield here at the Major League Field. Without Dave and Mike, we wouldn't have this here. These guys do great work for us year-round, keeping our facilities in top condition. Chris Gage, our Corey officer. As I mentioned earlier, Chris did our scoreboard for us. Brian Mariani, AA coordinator. Rhea Wallace, AAA coordinator. Darren Croto, our safety officer. Charlie Haidu is also helping with fundraising this year. And Adam Ewing, our T-ball coordinator. Thank you guys. You guys make a big deal, make a big difference in running this league. I don't know if anybody knows this, but this is the 75th anniversary of Little League. And it's also the 40th season that this league will be known as the George P. Gibbs Little League. It was 40 years ago this year that this field and this league got named after George Gibbs, who was integral in running baseball in Sterling. This wouldn't be here today if not for George, and I have a feeling there's probably very few people out here who knew who George was. but he was active with the DPW in town, and I've spoken to some guys who played with him over the years, and they just rave about him. If somebody didn't have cleats, if somebody didn't have a shirt, he would take you to the sporting goods store and buy it for you. That's the kind of guy he was, and that's why this league is named after him. And he also left an endowment for the league to keep make it so that nobody would ever have to go without equipment or uniforms. So thanks George. Thanks, next up we have, we're going to go with the teams and the sponsors. I'm going to ask Sandra Reagan from Sterling Girls Softball Association to join me. Say a few words and we'll start with the teams.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today, especially Sterling Little League for inviting us to join them today. I'd like to thank all the sponsors of Sterling Girls Softball. Many of you have been longtime sponsors of our program, and we truly appreciate all of your support. I'd like to thank our coaches for their assistance this year. I'd like to thank our board members in particular. We've had a lot of turnover lately. Dave Layton, who's our treasurer, Kevin Gleason, Carolyn Newland, Chris McNamara, Michelle Morrissey, Missy Parker, Jeff Pito, Shelley Sabin, and our honorary board member, Andy Parker, who takes care of our fields flawlessly without fail. I want to wish everybody good luck this season. Have a great time and enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. Just a few other things before we start with the teams. We do have the Bounce a Ball fundraiser, which is happening. There's a table over there. You can buy balls immediately after the ceremony. We'll be doing the throw. We have Red Sox tickets available. We have Bravehearts tickets available, and we also have some other great prizes. We're going to be having a T-ball clinic out in our field out behind the Major League field here, starting at 1 o'clock, and then some mini games for T-ball. We're going to have AA games down on the AAA field, and we're going to have AAA games right here on Maypother Field. So everybody's going to have a great day. Stick around for all that. Now on with the teams.
In the instructional division, first team is the Wildcats, coached by Shelley Sabin and Mike Baroni, sponsored by Live Automation.
All right, next up for Gibbs Little League, we have T-ball division. The Burlington Bees, sponsored by L.R. Favreau Septic, coached by Lee LaFlame. The Carolina Mudcats, sponsored by Davis Farmland, manager Mary Ewing. The Charlotte Knights, sponsored by Rhoda Spring Farm, coached by Mark Gerard. Next up, the Portland Sea Dogs, sponsored by TC Landos, Coach Keith Cordial. Next up, the Orem Owls, sponsored by Wachusett Family Eye Care, manager David Backus. The Salem Volcanoes, sponsored by William Southworth, EMD, manager Mike DeVerde. The Corpus Christi Hooks, sponsored by Century 21 Center Home Team, manager Danielle Ray. And our last T-ball team, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, sponsor Flanagan Insurance Agency, Coach Tim Gibson.
Our minor division teams this year, the Badgers, sponsored by CNC Builders, coached by Jeff Iafredi and Ray Morrissey.
Next up for Gibbs Little League, we have our Double A division. The Carolina Mudcats, sponsor DMH Electric, manager Paul Carabini. The Burlington Bees, sponsored TC Lando, coach Shelly Sappett Barraclough. The Durham Bulls, sponsor Farragher and Hennebree, manager Bill Watkins. Next up, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, sponsor Clinton Savings Bank, manager Jeff Luke. So excited, he ran out of his shoe. Next up, the Louisville Bats, sponsor Leominster Credit Union, manager Jen Richards. And finally, the Charleston River Dogs, sponsor Kerrigan, O'Malley, and Bailey Insurance, manager Matt Lane.
Now for Sterling Girls Softball Junior Division, the Comets, sponsored by Sterling Vet, coached by John Curley and Missy Parker.
Little League, our AAA division. First up, the Blue Claws. Sponsor TC Landos. Manager Adam Ewing. The red one, the Scrappers, sponsored by Donzo Manufacturing. Manager Brian Mariani. The Rock Express, sponsor Simpson Companies. Manager and our last AAA team, the River Bandits, sponsored Cafe Fresh Bagel. Manager Callie Idle.
The Hurricanes.
And finally, our Major League division for Kids Little League, the Legion, sponsored by TC Landos, manager Rob Bailey. The Slammers, sponsored by Brito Oil, manager Mike Akerson. The Lasers, sponsored by SNS Marketplace, manager Dave McHugh. And finally, the Crushers, sponsored Pandolph Perkins, manager Mike Lavin. One more thing before we get to the first pitch. I forgot to thank our chefs on the grill and also the volunteers that are helping us. Kat Papandrea, big thanks to Kat Papandrea, taking over the snack shack from Charlie Griffin. And Aaron Bailey's also helping there. Kat runs the whole snack shack for us all year. On the grill today we have Russ Philpott for the 5th or 6th year, and Dan Donovan and John Kilcoyne, and many other volunteers over there helping out. All kinds of good food over there. Grab something to eat later. As I mentioned earlier, the bouncer ball is over there. We'll be holding that shortly after the opening day ceremony, and then we'll have some games. Right now we're going to do the first pitch from the Sterling Girls Softball Association.
Throwing out our first pitch today. Caitlin McNamara, catcher, Kira. Caitlin McAllister, catcher, Kira McNamara.
It's the Girls Softball Association. Now we got one more thing and then we're ready to go. What do you say?
Play ball!
All right, thank you all for coming. Enjoy the day.